What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and I have yet another Steven Universe theory for you. This time it's a bit of a silly one, but I do think it's something that has some genuine merit. I want to kind of analyze what all of the fourth wall breaking could actually mean in the world of Steven Universe. This is something that I've wanted to talk about for a little while now, but we recently got a pretty big piece of fourth wall breaking in the latest Steven bomb, so I figured now would be a good time to talk about it. So I already know what some of you are thinking. What could possibly be analyzed about fourth wall breaking? It's just a fun thing that the writers put in as a joke for them and or the audience. No big deal. And you're right. That's absolutely why these little nods and Easter eggs that break the fourth wall are put in for amusement. But I personally am someone who likes to think about the canon and the fabric of all of these fictional realities. Because while we know what the fourth wall breaking means for us, the audience, I want to figure out what it means for them, the characters that live in the world. Because Rebecca Sugar and the rest of the Crewniverse have clearly put a lot of effort in building this world and the rules of it, so I don't think they would just throw in some fourth wall breaking jokes without realizing the implications of them. Now, I'm not going to talk about Say Uncle, the Uncle Grandpa crossover, because that episode isn't canon, and we actually may have something related to that episode, believe it or not, coming in the future. So this means the first piece of actual canonical fourth wall breaking in Steven Universe was in the episode Know Your Fusion. In this episode, Sardonyx brings Smoky Quartz to her room, which also happens to be a talk show stage. The room is supposedly filled with audience members Sardonyx created, but we never see them. She just kind of looks at the camera. This could theoretically mean that throughout the entire show, we, as the audience, are actually taking on the role of the audience members that Sardonyx created. And throughout the episode, there are a number of fourth wall breaking jokes. For starters, there are two moments where she has clips, one showcasing Opal and the other showcasing Alexandrite. Below each of these clips is a piece of text that says, "Footage courtesy of Cartoon Network." So let's just talk about that for a second. What? This could be interpreted a couple of ways. One, Cartoon Network just happens to be the name of Sardonyx's made-up network where she quote-unquote hosts her talk show, which would be a pretty strange name for it. Or Sardonyx is fully aware that they live in a cartoon world. Now you might say, well, hold on. Those clips that were shown could have just been for the audience. Well, yeah, maybe, but they seem to be specifically stylized for Sardonyx's show, so I highly doubt this is the case. But let's argue for a second that these clips are actually just for us, the people watching. Well, here's some more fourth wall breaking by way of Sardonyx. When talking about Sugalite, Sardonyx makes a joke of not having to pay her since she's not technically in the episode. This is of course referencing the voice actress of Sugalite, Nicki Minaj, who undoubtedly is very expensive to have on the show. Now you could argue again that canonically Sardonyx is just talking about Sugalite herself not being in the quote-unquote episode, referring to Sardonyx Tonight, her talk show. And of course, for the audience, it's a joke about Nicki Minaj. But once again, I don't think this is the case. I think it's plain to see that Sardonyx is actually aware that the world she and everybody else lives in is a world of a cartoon, and we've recently received a huge piece of evidence for this in the episode Steven's Dream. In Steven's Dream, there is a montage sequence where Steven and Greg are going around Korea doing different things, but one of these moments features Greg and Steven actually stumbling upon an animation studio where there are character designs for Steven, Connie, Amethyst, Pearl, and even Greg himself, wearing the shirt that he was wearing at that exact moment. And for those of you who don't know, after Steven Universe is storyboarded, the final animation process is done by two different Korean studios. So other than just a nod to the audience, this says to me that not only is Steven Universe canonically a cartoon universe, getting really meta, but their very own creators actually live within that universe, and the creators of those creators are the real world Crewniverse, which means there's basically gods in Korea creating everything all the time. But this isn't the first time something like this has been done. We're all familiar with Deadpool at this point, I assume. Deadpool is notorious for breaking the fourth wall, not just in last year's film, but in the Marvel Comics universe. Well, one of their many universes. So get this. The world is canonically a comic book world, and Deadpool seems to be the only one that's aware of it. And this concept was added upon once again with Gwen a person from the quote-unquote real world, gets sucked into the Marvel comic world and becomes Gwenpool, fully aware that she is in the comic book. So this means that Sardonyx not only is probably fully aware that everyone's life is essentially a lie, but Garnet and Pearl most likely know as well, which means Ruby and Sapphire probably know on top of that. So yeah, everything is a lie, just one big two-dimensional lie. And only a handful of beings in the universe know it, probably. But that's it for this theory. What do you guys think? Do you believe that the characters of Steven Universe are canonically living in a cartoon world? Were there any more pieces of evidence I missed? Let us know in the comments down below. Thanks so much for tuning in. I've been Michael Williams, you've been watching Cartoon Universe, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.